What's that about, bro? Niner. Over. Chat. Check this out, man. Why I just did the whole book of Daniel, and the whole book of Daniel didn't record. I don't like that. I don't like that right there. I don't like that. So guess what we gonna do, chat? We gonna record it again. We gonna record it again. But before we record it again, I'm gonna make me some eggs with the cheese on it. I'm gonna make the eggs with the cheese on. I wish I still had some bread, boy. But I finally learned how to make my nigga really learning how to cook, chat. You hear me? Rex, get out the corner, quit messing with that. Rex. I'll throw something at your head right now, Rex. You don't turn around. Get off the couch. Come here. I know what you're doing. Come here. Get in. Get in. Get in. Get in. Get in. Get in. Chat. These dogs are funny. Chat, we finna go Book of Daniel one more time. Because Book of Daniel played all the way through. You feel me? And for some reason, the Book of Daniel did not record all the way. So we gonna record it again. No. Chat, every time I talk to my boy Thrizzle, man, Thrizzle just be making me feel like I'm just cooked. Like, my boy Thrizzle be making me feel like I'm just like absolutely cooked. That's my boy, man. But like, y'all got friends that like. Well, I feel like anybody that's your friend, right? Like anybody that's like, you feel me, your homie, or like you rock somebody that you rock with tough. You know, you always feel a way when you like, I don't know, let your friends down, or like, I don't know, I don't even know what to call it, but like, get down, dude. Every time I talk to my boy Thrizzle, chat, my boy be making me feel like this nigga has no chance in life. Like, I be like, God, dog, bro. I don't even know why I'm laughing, because it's not funny, bro. Like, I'm talking about, like, I don't even know how to put it, bro, but it's like, you fizzle? I say you fizzle. But Thrizzle, I don't know if y'all remember me talking about Thrizzle. You know what I'm saying? I'll be talking about him sometime on here, you know what I'm saying? Thrizzle is my homie that be talking to me about, like, effective communication and like, you know what I'm saying? Like training your brain to think, you feel me, more positively so your body follows and your feelings follow your brain as they supposed to. And like my boy Grizzle Chat, man. Chat, Grizzle is a strong-minded nigga, boy. Like, how did he get like that? I don't know. I even asked him one time. I even asked my boy Grizzle. Man, he's a very strong-minded nigga. And it's like, he a cool nigga, but if he don't trust you, he gonna put that wall up right in your face and not feel sorry about it at all. You know what I'm saying? But like, very strong-minded nigga. And I even asked him one time, I'm like, bro, how you get like that? He started laughing at me like, bro. I'm like, I'm dead serious. He started laughing like, bro, oh no. Like, I'm like, all right, bro. But like, Drizzle be making me feel like I am absolutely cooked, Jack. Y'all got friends that just hold y'all to just like an ultra high standard, and like, if you let them down a little bit, they just let you know, like, nigga, I'm disappointed in you. You know what I'm saying? You need to keep working on that. You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, man, you feel me? But at the same time, I'm knowing if I get discouraged, that's gonna make me backpedal. You feel me? So it's like, I just gotta keep speaking it into existence. Stay in the word, of course, because that's the main ingredient. But I gotta keep, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should do the same thing. If y'all have trouble with just like having effective communication or just, you know what I'm saying? You just don't deliver how you really want to all the time in a conversation. You feel me? Just keep training your brain. Just keep manipulating your brain. Keep talking to yourself as if you are communicating effectively. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're gonna beat it. You know what I mean? So, you know, a little advice to y'all, man. That's stuff that I be, you know, dealing with on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? That I really be working on trying to correct. You feel me? And you know, me and Thrizzle done had them talks too a few times, man. So I be understanding why he be getting a little disappointed with me and stuff, man. But like, I used to like, when my peoples used to get upset, like my homies and stuff used to get like upset with me or stuff, I used to just like take it and just like shut down, bro. And get sad in the middle of nowhere, or, you know what I'm saying? But like now I'm learning to try to just like, you feel me? Next play type vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Just cause you walking down the street and you trip, you know what I'm saying? You see a little bad bit. I gotta stop saying bit. But just cause you talking to the wall, kitchen cabinet. Shut up. But just cause you like, just cause you like, say you walking down the sidewalk, right? You see you passing by a little bad joint, and you trip as y'all walking by each other, and she laugh at you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You could do three things. You could trip and just get down on yourself because you like, dang, I just embarrassed myself in front of that girl. You know what I'm saying? You could trip and play it, you feel me? Like, still try to play it to your advantage. Like, she seen me trip. I got her attention. I might as well just see if I can get her number. You know what I'm saying? Let me turn around and walk with her the other way. Chop it up with her a little bit so she know I ain't one of them. You know what I'm saying? Then you mess around, you might still get her number. Now you just got a bad number. off of tripping over. You know what I'm saying? Off of tripping over your own foot. Or you could trip. You feel me? You could try to get her number. She say no, and then you just walk the other way. You feel me? So it's like I'm learning still. It's like no matter if you mess up a little bit or not, it's still nobody's really gonna care about the mess up if the reaction or the comeback is better than the mess up. You feel me? So it's like that's what I be trying to keep in mind now. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I mess up, there's always a small window of time where you can pick it. You know what I'm saying? If you drop the ball, you can pick the ball back up and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So just a little bit of game for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Valuable stuff, man. And you know, practice make perfect, man. So you know, you just gotta. If you mess up, only way you're gonna get better is to keep working at it. But you know, I ain't perfect, cat. But that's how you know you ain't gotta be perfect for Jesus Christ to use you. Know what I mean? But while you being imperfect and Jesus Christ is choosing to use you, don't talk down on yourself. Feel me? Because talking down on yourself ain't never finna help nothing. You know what I mean? Stay positive, chat. Even when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, just keep talking it into existence. You feel me? As if you are doing exactly, you know what I'm saying? Because eventually your brain gonna listen and then your body gotta follow. You know what I mean? That's brain plyometrics 101. If I even use that in the right term. Brain plyometrics 101, chat. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the JC Network, man. I am Clay Cash. I'm finna whip me up some eggs, man. I'm finna whip me up some eggs, chat. You hear me? I'm finna whip me up some eggs, chat. And we finna crack open the book of Daniel one more time because I don't know why I didn't record. I don't like that. I don't like that. Nisikaya Wurnai, Ambralia Toroskime, Ishinitani Yodaga. Only got 3 eggs left, chat. I didn't get the big joint because I guess they were sold out of the big joint. I usually get the big box of eggs, man. But I had to get the semi-big box. I usually get the big old square plastic joint with all the eggs in there. You know what I'm saying? But I guess they ain't had that joint. You think? But yeah, man. A lot of people be saying like, I had this talk with Rhythm too, man. A lot of people would be saying like, you know, who cares if, you know what I'm saying? Don't. Now this is a fact to a certain extent. Like, don't live for people. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares if somebody like you or don't like you? People gonna find a reason to not like you anyway. But at the same time, you don't want to use that as an excuse not to communicate effectively. Because, like I said before, man, I done said this on live too before. Effective communicators can get in different rooms, man. You know what I'm saying? You can crack a door open. You know what I'm saying? You can open a door comfortably to where you can walk in, or you can bust the door open just all off how effectively you communicate. You know what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, whether you're lying or not, people respond to how comfortable you make them feel when you communicating with them. You know what I'm saying? So you could be a crook, but if you know how to make people feel comfortable while you talking to them, they gonna remember that. You know what I'm saying? And that's low-key a big problem today. You know what I'm saying? You could be a very genuine person, but because you done been hurt in the past, it done messed up the way that you communicate. You're not an effective communicator. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can be as genuine as they come, but it's like you don't really communicate effectively. So you're not gonna get all the way in the room like somebody, like, you know what I'm saying, somebody else that might be a crook, but they just know how to make people feel good. Am I an effective communicator? I used to be a great one. I'm just being real. Now, the only reason I'm not manipulating myself right now is because I'm being honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I wasn't on live, like, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like in another, like, you know what I'm saying? You should train your mind to say yes, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Even if you feel like you're not an effective communicator. Because when you talking, yourself can hear yourself talk. You know what I'm saying? So yourself responds to how you talk about yourself and how you feel about yourself and how you respond to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So in that regard, I would say yes. But to tell the truth to y'all right now, I would say I used to be a perfect, like a flawlessly effective communicator. I used to be a flawlessly effective communicator. But then I started just going through a lot of, you know what I'm saying, betrayal, pain, you know what I'm saying, trauma. You know what I'm saying? I went through a little phase where, and I'm still like that, to be honest. I went through a little phase where I couldn't really trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of just like backstabbing going on around me. You know what I'm saying? Got to a point where I felt like my back was against the wall. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really have nobody I could just run to their corner and they just, you know what I'm saying, throw a coat on me. You feel me? Stand in front of me and just cover me while I just, like, you know what I'm saying, get my little joint off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was times where I was broken and, like, you know, people kind of like exploited that or like made fun of the fact that a nigga was broken and I ain't really have all my mental there. It was times where that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was times where I felt like, you know what I'm saying, some of my closest friends, they could have used the situations to, like, you know, build me up instead of just like making fun of a nigga in the mind state I was in. And instead of building me up, they kind of just, like, you know, made fun of the mind state I was in. Like, they couldn't believe it. This nigga Caleb is getting low self-esteem. Like, he losing himself? What? This is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, like, you feel me, being the type of friend that protect me. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely affected me. You know what I'm saying? In a very negative way. I'm not gonna lie. You know? That's why, and it's like, I don't know if that got something to do, I don't know if that rubbed off on me or what. But that's why I get bothered, man, when people get bothered with me about not being an effective communicator, because I used to be flawless, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we all got stuff to work on, chat. And if you can't hide your flaws, you know what I'm saying, you just that much more exposed. And you gotta work that much harder. You know what I'm saying? And you're not able, you're like, you know what I'm saying? People that gotta work harder to like, you know, be an effective community. Cause it's like, don't nobody care about what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care about how many times you got betrayed or like why you ended up the way that you are today. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that people care about is nigga, cause they've been, you know what I'm saying? Everybody been through something. So it's just like nigga, you know what I'm saying? Suck it up, especially as a man. You feel me? Suck it up, nigga. You feel me? Control your emotions, practice, and learn how to be an effective communicator. Get on top of that crap, nigga. Cause we ain't trying to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, yes, it's important to have a positive mindset, but still think realistically about stuff. Yeah. But you know, sometimes reality is very negative. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes reality is very negative, and the fact that reality can be negative sometimes it don't really help your mental to, you know, think about life in that way so much. You know what I'm saying? Because then it'll have a negative effect on your life, and if you walk around feeling negative, you're gonna spread negativity to everybody else that come around you. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a very thin line. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely got to know how to balance it, man. Balance, bro. Life is all about balance, man. No matter what you've been through, you still got to be able to balance it. And if you can't balance it, you're going to reap the consequences of not being able to balance things that people feel like you should balance no matter what. Because at the end of the day, everybody's been through something. But at the same time, everybody's brain capacity as far as just like handling things, everybody's different. But it's like, nigga, who cares about that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You either strong or you weak. And if you weak, people gonna try to take more advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely not gonna feel no pity for you. Cause at times where they feel like they was weak, ain't nobody feel no pity for them. So it's like, it's kind of like a relay of emotions, man. That's why I always say if the world was nicer, it will be alright. You know what I'm saying? If the world was more empathetic as a whole, we'd be alright. But unfortunately, everybody wasn't raised to think that way. You know what I'm saying? Some people grew up in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And everybody don't actively read the Bible like they should. So, for the most part, the world done trained us, because the world is evil, that pretty much do whatever you got to do to survive in this world. And the people that kick into survival mode, you know, they get the best benefits out of this life. But like, getting the best benefits out of this life, you know what I'm saying, mostly causes for you to be in situations that you might not be proud of. You know what I'm saying? It makes you just do stuff in certain situations that, like, if somebody found out about what you did, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't be happy that somebody knew. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you ask me, it pays just to be genuine. But while you being genuine, no matter what you've been through, bro, just still try to make sure you do your best, bro, to be an effective communicator. Because no matter what you've been through, that's definitely a trait you gotta have. You know what I'm saying? And somebody that might not deserve to be in certain rooms because of how, you know what I'm saying, underhanded and like maybe crooked they are. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, God ain't back yet. And we live in a world that just because somebody don't deserve to be in a building, don't mean they can't get in the building. It's like the same thing as like, you feel me, a murder case. If somebody kills somebody, you know what I'm saying? the whole courtroom could know that this person killed another person. You know what I'm saying? But like, if your money good enough and your lawyer know how to talk good enough with his, you know what I'm saying? If he know the law good enough and he know his word, you feel me? Your lawyer can get you out of killing that person. Even though the whole courtroom may know this person definitely killed that person. You know what I'm saying? If you got a good enough lawyer and he know the law like the back of his hand, and this nigga can prove based on the laws of the court that you didn't kill that man, even though everybody in the courtroom know you killed that man, you can walk away scot-free. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, we live in a messed up world, chat. We live in a messed up world. So, you know, unfortunately, now, the best people in the world, I would say they get accolades, but you only get accolades if you're you only get accolades if you got a relationship with God and you under the laws of God. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way good people are gonna prosper when this earth ends. You know what I'm saying? But while we waiting on God to come back, you know what I'm saying? We just gotta face the facts that we live. The Bible even talks about this. We just gotta face the facts that, like, you know, in this realm, darkness wins. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. There's very few times, it's more times that people get away with darkness than justice being served on this side, you know? And it's messed up, but it's true. And it's supposed to be that way because the Bible talks about it. You know what I'm saying? So anything that the Bible talks about, it has to happen that way. You know what I'm saying? Unless God changes his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world was actually supposed to end in 2012. But God stopped it. Nigga, if the world would have ended in 2012, bro, I sure wouldn't have been in heaven. I know that. You know? So maybe, you know what I'm saying? God's seen the future. But either way, man, life goes on, bro. So my best advice, nigga, learn how to try your hardest. Chat, try your best to be an effective communicator. Because you need it. And at the end of the day, it's going to save your butt. You know what I mean? Because like I said, somebody can be a straight crook. But if they communicate better than you, you're going to lose out on that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And the only way you still going to get blessed, unless you're going to lose out on that opportunity, unless you serve the mighty God and he see what you go through. That's the only way you still going to come out blessed, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you not an effective communicator, no matter what you've been through, good or bad, right? If you're not an effective communicator, chat, and you don't serve God and be obedient to God, you just gonna be SOL. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, bro. And I know this firsthand because I done been through it. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of times. So that's why I'm telling y'all, man. If you a young nigga watching my channel, bro, make sure that you get effective communication. While this life is still going on. If you a good person and you worship God and you an effective communicator, you got the game sold up. So if you ask me, chat, that's the best way to be. You feel me? Let me clean up real quick. Eronishko tarima sariatimo. Yarani sini achuromi sini. Ikita no mo chini ba primo. Eronishkini ma broma hito. Inti ma jana fo to mis priwi. Yayati anato shimake ino. And it's hard, chat. But nobody cares how hard it is, bro. You just gotta keep going. You know? If you hit your head 10 times, bro, you gotta get up 11 times, man. You might get it on the 11th try. And it's gonna come, and that, you know what I'm saying? Hitting your head that many times, it's gonna come with some trauma and some pain, but like, that part don't be talked about because you still gotta perform, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, everybody been through something. You know what I mean? All right, well, let's crack on with the book of Daniel, chat. The Daniel book. We gotta get it right. Yorosi Regina Corodentino. Ikranu Itinashini Papumui. Yamike ono charatni nastino. It's the night and it does my machine. Burantashino Brumaka itasine. Or a tonkishine and book money to my indicates an ash and a low. Scarred nothing is she penny with Paita Sanaika. Mashitani at the mesca. Says to know why put on the sea continues I more than bra.
Welcome to today's video, where we'll dive into the fascinating book of Daniel from the Bible. Have you ever wondered what the future holds? The book of Daniel gives us a glimpse into God's plan for the world, filled with powerful visions, prophecies, and lessons in faith. Stay with us until the end as we explore what these ancient stories can teach us today about standing firm in our beliefs. So, who wrote the book of Daniel? The book is traditionally attributed to Daniel, a Jewish prophet who was taken captive into Babylon during the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar. It was likely written between the 6th and 5th centuries BC, during a time when the Jewish people were in exile, far from their homeland. The book of Daniel is divided into two main parts. The first half, chapters 1 through 6, consists of stories about Daniel and his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, showing how they remained faithful to God while living in a foreign land. The second half, chapters 7 through 12, contains Daniel's visions and prophecies. which focus on future events and God's sovereignty over history. This book is unique in its combination of historical narratives and apocalyptic visions. But what do these prophecies really mean? What lessons can we learn from Daniel's life? Let's explore each chapter and uncover the deep truths hidden in these pages. Chapter 1, Daniel's faithfulness. In the first chapter of Daniel, we see him and his 3 friends taken from Judah to Babylon. They are chosen to be trained in the king's court, where they are given rich food and wine. However, Daniel and his friends choose not to defile themselves by eating the king's food because it would go against their Jewish laws. Daniel's decision shows us the importance of remaining faithful to God, even in difficult circumstances. He and his friends ask for vegetables and water instead, and God honors their faithfulness, making them healthier and wiser than the other young men in the king's training. The lesson is that no matter where we are or what we face, we can stand firm in our faith and trust God to guide us. Chapter 2, King Nebuchadnezzar's Dream. In chapter 2, King Nebuchadnezzar has a troubling dream that none of his wise men can interpret. Daniel prays to God, and God reveals the dream and its meaning to him. The dream is of a large statue made of different materials: gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay. Each material represents a different kingdom in history, with the gold head symbolizing King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, Babylon. Daniel interprets the dream, showing that while all these kingdoms will rise and fall, God's kingdom will last forever. Nebuchadnezzar is amazed and honors Daniel. The lesson is that God is in control of history and will bring his eternal kingdom to pass, no matter what kingdoms rise and fall in the world. Chapter 3, The Fiery Furnace. In chapter 3, King Nebuchadnezzar builds a giant golden image and commands everyone to bow down and worship it. Daniel's 3 friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refuse to bow to the idol. In response, Nebuchadnezzar orders them to be thrown into a fiery furnace. But when they are thrown into the furnace, they are unharmed. To everyone's amazement, a 4th figure appears in the fire with them, protecting them. The king praises their God for delivering them. The lesson is that God is faithful to protect his followers when they stand firm in their beliefs, even in the face of persecution.
Hey.
Chapter 4, Nebuchadnezzar's Madness. In chapter 4, King Nebuchadnezzar has another dream, this time of a large tree that is cut down. Daniel interprets the dream, revealing that the king will go mad for a time as a consequence of his pride, but he will be restored when he acknowledges that God is the true ruler of all. True to the dream, Nebuchadnezzar becomes like an animal, living in the wilderness until he humbles himself and praises God. His sanity is restored, and he recognizes God's sovereignty. The lesson is that pride comes before a fall, but humility before God leads to restoration and peace. Chapter 5, The Writing on the Wall. In chapter 5, Nebuchadnezzar's son, Belshazzar, holds a feast using the sacred vessels from the temple in Jerusalem. During the feast, a mysterious hand writes on the wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. Daniel is called to interpret the message, which foretells the end of Belshazzar's reign and the fall of Babylon. That very night, the Persian army overtakes the city. The lesson is that God's judgment is sure, and we must honor him in all things. Chapter 6, Daniel in the Lion's Den. In chapter 6, Daniel becomes a high official in the Persian Empire. Some of his enemies plot to have him thrown into a lion's den by tricking the king into making a law that no one can pray to anyone but the king. Daniel, remaining faithful, continues to pray to God. He is thrown into the den of lions, but God shuts the lions' mouths, and Daniel emerges unharmed the next morning. The lesson is that God rewards faithfulness, even in the face of life-threatening challenges. Chapter 7, Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts. In chapter 7, Daniel dreams of 4 beasts emerging from the sea. Each beast represents a different kingdom. The lion with eagle's wings symbolizes Babylon. The bear represents Medo-Persia. The leopard stands for Greece. And the terrifying 4th beast represents Rome and future empires. Daniel also sees the Ancient of Days, God, judge the beasts, and a kingdom is established for God's people that will last forever. The lesson is that earthly kingdoms rise and fall, but God's eternal kingdom will stand forever. Chapter 8, the vision of the ram and the goat. In chapter 8, Daniel sees a ram and a goat. The ram represents the Medo-Persian Empire, and the goat represents the Greek Empire. The goat defeats the ram, symbolizing Alexander the Great's conquest of Persia. After Alexander's death, his empire is divided into 4 parts. A little horn grows, symbolizing a king who will persecute God's people, often linked to Antiochus, the 4th Epiphanes, but also pointing to a future oppressive ruler. The lesson is that God is in control of history, even when evil rulers rise, and he will bring justice. Chapter 9, the 70 Weeks Prophecy. In chapter 9, Daniel receives the prophecy of the 70 weeks, which outlines God's plan for Israel. The prophecy predicts the coming of the Messiah and the destruction of Jerusalem. The final week, 7 years, refers to future tribulation and the coming of God's eternal kingdom. This prophecy connects the first coming of Christ to the future return and establishment of God's kingdom. The lesson is that God has a detailed plan for history, and the Messiah is central to his plan. Chapter 10, Daniel's vision of a man. In chapter 10, Daniel sees a glorious man, likely an angel, whose appearance is overwhelming. The angel explains that spiritual warfare delayed his arrival, but that God has heard Daniel's prayers. The chapter highlights the unseen spiritual battles taking place on behalf of God's people. The lesson is that our prayers are heard, and spiritual forces are at work behind the scenes. Chapter 11, the kings of the north and south. Chapter 11 details the ongoing conflict between the Seleucid and Ptolemaic dynasties, symbolized by the kings of the north and south. As the prophecy unfolds, it also points to a future king, often linked to the Antichrist, who will oppress God's people. This ruler's reign will be short, as God will ultimately bring judgment and establish his kingdom. The lesson is that despite the turmoil and oppression in history, God's ultimate victory is assured. Chapter 12, the time of the end. In the final chapter, Daniel is told that a time of great distress will come, but the faithful will be delivered. There will be a resurrection. Some will rise to eternal life, others to disgrace. Daniel is told to seal up the prophecy until the time of the end, but those who remain faithful will be rewarded with eternal life. The lesson is that while challenges may come, there is hope for those who remain faithful, as God will bring ultimate justice. In summary, the book of Daniel is filled with powerful visions and prophecies that point to God's sovereignty over history and his plan for the future.
I was just talking about that,
Daniel's faithfulness in the face of trials, to his visions of the coming of God's eternal kingdom, we are reminded that no matter what happens in the world, God is in control. We can trust that God's plan will come to pass, even when we don't fully understand it. The book of Daniel encourages us to remain faithful, knowing that God will ultimately bring justice and establish his kingdom forever. So, what has the story of Daniel taught you? How does this journey of faith relate to your life today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found something meaningful today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Once again, chat. Once again, I literally just said something similar to the book of Daniel before it came on. Now, ain't that something? And it keep happening like that, bro. It's not a coincidence, chat. It done happened too many times. As far as I'm concerned, that keeps confirming to me that I am in alignment. And that I need to keep up the good work. That's how I take it. Chat, this was a good talk. This was a good talk. This was a well-needed talk. And the Book of Daniel breakdown, man, that should start us off to have a good day. Ouch, I just pulled my chin here and that one. It was tangled up in something. I advise everyone not to watch the Olympics because the Olympics are demonic. Everything's demonic. So I guess I can't say that. Because you know what I'm saying? Anyway. Hey, Butter. You sleeping, man? What you doing, Butter? You sleeping? Butter sleeping, y'all. I was feeding this nigga earlier. He about took my hand off. Because he thought I was about to take his food. He's crazy. What was that? I know ain't nobody outside shooting at 6 o'clock in the morning. Chat. I love y'all niggas, man. I hope y'all have a blessed and highly favored type of day, man. You know what I'm saying? Every day you wake up, bro, you got a choice to please God. You know what I'm saying? Or to just keep, you know what I'm saying, pleasing yourself. And, you know, living the life that's easier than working for God. You know, I pray today, everybody that listens to my lives and is in my community, I pray today and I challenge y'all. So just live for God today and see how it make you feel, bro. Just see how it make you feel. I don't ask y'all for much. Sometimes I feel like I do ask y'all for a lot, but y'all don't be giving it to me. So, you know what I'm saying? Do this for me, chat. Just, you feel me? And I know some people it's harder than others. You know what I'm saying? But today, just try to live for God. You know what I'm saying? Try to show the love of God, bro. Try to make God proud today, bro. And by the end of the day, see if you don't feel good. See if you don't be at peace. See if you don't have some type of, you know what I'm saying, light feeling in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Good light feeling in your spirit. You feel me? And y'all ain't even got to report back to me because it ain't for me, bro. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's really for the personal. So, y'all just do that, man. You feel me? And I'm gonna tap back in with y'all folks, man. You feel me? This is JC Network, man. I am Clay Cash, and we are out of here. One love, baby.